Well, that's the thing about the ring announcers, that they're amazing at reading the room, and so are the refs, you know, like that's like the
I spotted my sister from across the way.
I never went to sleep last night. I gotta meet no feeling that the days in my eyes. I gotta meet no feeling that the days in my eyes. I think I'll hear the highway off my east side.
To the left from where we are here at the music stage. And your next speaker is Salvador Herrera. And he's going to talk to you about the benefits of rape. So please step down. There's some chairs down there. You can sit and enjoy Salvador's presentation here at the Gardens of Hope.
Yeah, next time I could just imagine.
Brother, I'm fine with it. I've been working with this medicine, with RP, for around, I don't know, 5 years. For a causal trauma, or I lose someone that I love, I ended having a good relationship with this medicine. The RP, I was playing first as a blend. 52% is tobacco, 52 to 60% is tobacco. Tobacco from Amazon, the Comapacho is a little bit stronger than regular tobacco that we know around here. It's different type. And normally in each single blend, they use 4 to 5 different plants in the process, but they name it, like for example, Sunu, they use this plant and more, let's say, always and everything.
We have our next speaker going down on the
Which or Mago? Mago? Grupo? If you, he know the ritual, how to do something. The ritual can be so beautiful, make the fire go like this and all that. But if he don't have intention, nothing happens. If he don't have that intention that strong, nothing happens. But people, they have strong intention with all those beautiful things that happen in the back can make miracles.
Thank you, Sal.
Hi, thanks, Sal.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with this beautiful soul, my ceremony partner.
I'm sorry you guys had to deal with him.
Do you need a microphone?
I think everybody can hear me. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Good?
I hear you all right.
Alright. I do talk low, so I'm going to be yelling at you guys, but it's okay.
It's just about letting the spirit be tethered out as much as possible in safety. Because I also have seen people go in with bad food in them, they just drank alcohol, wasn't my circle, so I can't say anything about it, but I heard the whole conversation and I was like, whoa, they're gonna feel that.
I really don't. I learned a long time ago. First of all, never looked at that. Well, no.
And like foraging mushrooms throughout the year and selling them to these restaurants. And then whenever the mushrooms stopped producing in the wintertime, I was like, all right, what should I do now? So I took the little bit of investment I had early on and started to buy 60 years. Could you imagine if we were 60 years into cultivating plants? Like we wouldn't even have like beer and bread and all this kind of stuff. We wouldn't even know like how to do our harvests and all this kind of stuff. Like we're just infant, and like the fact that we have computers has amplified how fast we're learning about it, but we're still at the infant stages. I met the person that named more truffles than any other person in the world, Dr. James Trappy. I interviewed him earlier this year. He's an older gentleman. He said in the 1950s, for my graduate's thesis at Evergreen State College, I covered the phenomenon of mycorrhiza. Like, I was just like, the phenomenon of mycorrhiza. Like, it was just new to the world. Like, but it was new to the world. Like, mycology wasn't even a science, defined science until 1969. So he was studying mycology as like plant pathology or as like non-flowering plants. Like, they weren't even a defined science. So he's just like, yeah, for the first time we were like looking out at plants and realizing that they have connections with fungus. I'm talking like Latin-based speaking people. Like, cause like indigenous people probably already knew that shit. Like, they're like, it always geeks me out. Like, I'm just keeping it real. It geeks me out when I see white people trip and they're like, oh, the trees, they're alive. And I'm just like, the fuck you mean they're alive? Like, they always been alive your whole life. Like, what have you been looking at that you didn't realize that the tree was alive? I already know. They've just been living in human ideological environments for multiple generations. I do this thought experiment when I'm in different groups. I say, raise your hand if your parents lived on the land, like if they lived on a farm or off the land. Raise your hands if your grandparents lived on a farm or off the land. Raise your hands if your great-grandparents lived on a farm and off the land. It's different in the US and it's different when I go in different countries, right? When I went to London, nobody raised their hand, ever. I said great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. London was like founded in the year 0. And what the fuck is the year 0? Well, we're defining time by what the Romans said. You know what I mean? We're still living in the Greco-Roman Empire. They had a fixation on immortalization, and they did it in the sense that I'm still utilizing their language and we're still utilizing their socio-political systems. But yeah, I can just keep ranting about that shit forever. But the fact that we just found out about mycorrhiza, it means that like our kids and their kids are going to be the ones that actually does the real work, because we're just giving them the words and the ideas of explaining the things that's like the basic concepts of getting into this like as an agrarian lifestyle. So I started filming about truffles because the same reason I put a lot of content on the internet and the same reason I care about putting content on the internet is because I grew up in cities and I didn't go in the forest until I was 18 years old. And I went in the forest to go smoke weed because I live in Pennsylvania and I could get in trouble if people saw me smoking weed or smelled the weed and things like this. And when I went in the forest, it was aliens. It wasn't like aliens come out the sky to meet me or some shit. I never went in the forest. Everything was alien to me. Alien is just, we call people from different countries alien in our country. Like, alien is shit you don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, meet your neighbors, try their food, like, go sit down with them for prayer, see what they're into so it's not so scary, if that's what the fuck is scary. Like, but like, nature was alien to me and I was like fascinated with it. I'm like, yo, how do I know about this? What do I need to do to know about this? And it was way easier to understand it than it was to understand human ideological environments. And I was saved many, many times by individuals that decided to put content about nature on the internet. And when I got tripped out at first, I took my shoes off and I shaved my hair and I went in the forest and I turned off all my social media accounts and I didn't go on the internet for a couple years. And the information that I was interacting with in the world that I was experiencing, I was like, wow, I need to tell as many of my people as I can about this. But I had rejected modern society. I had rejected contemporary society. I stopped listening to the music I grew up with because I thought it was brainwashing me. I stopped wearing the clothes that I grew up with because I felt like they were trying to enslave me and like take over my mind and make me addicted to buying their brands for the rest of my life. So like I gave up like all modern culture and then nobody could relate to me. And then I went and I did this talk for these troubled boys in central Pennsylvania at this school. They couldn't even go to the regular classes and I was teaching them about mushrooms. And I was like, do y'all see mushrooms when you're walking down the street? And they're like, nah. I was like, y'all see mushrooms at the playground or at the playground? They're like, nah. And I was like, y'all ever play Mario Brothers? You seen the red and white thing that's in the Mario Brothers? And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yo, that's a mushroom. So I'm like trying to relate to these kids. And there's one kid in the back of the room with his like arms crossed the whole time. At the end of my talk, he's like, yo, why should I listen to you? You look like a bum. I had like holes in my pants. Like I have like my one shoes, they're all dirty. And I was like, oh shit, I do look like a bum. And I was like, I didn't even think about it. I just like didn't care about society. But like, I was like, when I go in the woods and I meet my permaculture people at these different gatherings, I'm like, we're all saved. Everybody here, you're already saved. You're already at the Holistic Health Symposium. You're already in the community of people that's like, cares about the good shit, talking about the good shit. You're reprogramming your brain while people are literally still in the grind, inside of a city, inside of the grid, never left, never seen stars at night, never seen a dark night in their whole life, never took their shoes off and touched the ground. Like, you guys are already saved. So I don't need to worry about you guys. You guys are good. So I was like, how about I start making content for the 99.9% of people that's not already saved, so I can get as many people to care about something in nature as possible. It has to be relatable. That's the one thing that it has to be. Like, so many people I met, they were on that same tip. They didn't give a fuck about being weird. They were like, I'm gonna be this person in the woods, or I'm gonna be this person in the garden doing human manure or composting. I don't care what the people around think. I wanna be edgy, I wanna be rebellious. And I'm just like, it's my goal as a contemporary alchemist, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, is to take the elements of this environment that I was born into that's bullshit and transform it into a new reality. Because the individuals that are in the cities can't relate directly to what we're doing. There has to be like steps. There has to be like a transition. So all that to say, I'm like, yo, when I wrote that cordyceps book, when I started talking about cordyceps, and now 8 years later, I've seen people start businesses off cordyceps. I've seen people make farms off cordyceps. I've seen people feed cordyceps to their family. And like, I saw how reality changed from what we did. And so I was like, we need to do this for truffles, because nobody knows yet, but there's truffles everywhere in the US. Everybody's importing European truffles before they even know that there's truffles everywhere in the US. And everybody only looks at truffles as a gourmet thing, and they don't realize that they're one of the most powerful medicinal mushrooms in the whole game. So I was like, all right, let me make this into a documentary, into short form content that I can upload on the internet that's digestible for a modern attention span. Because this is what's the most important thing right now, is to get as many people that's in that 99% to find something to care about in nature. Because the human ideological environment is consuming nature. And if we don't get people to care about it and protect it before we consume it, then it's going to be gone. And I've witnessed this happen in my lifetime whenever I went to go foraging places that I can't go foraging anymore because there's a housing development there. And like, there's certain endemic species that only grows in one valley in Pennsylvania. And now there's a housing complex there. 99.9% all life that's existed is gone. Like, the fact that we're just letting shit just disappear on a daily basis is bonkers. Like we gotta be doing something to help. In this number, because then now make the number like ridiculously. Goats, deer, elk, all sorts of animals. And there's over 32 identified mycophagous turtles, truffle spores have been found in the excrement of various reptile species. Most truffles have been identified by animal poop. Like mycologists will look at the animal poop under a microscope and find truffle spores, and that's how most of the truffles have been identified. Gastropods also consume truffles, so like slugs and snails and things like this. I already mentioned that truffles. That's crazy, right? Like, nerve pinching really fucks people up. If your nerves can't communicate with each other, you're gonna get fucked up. They're not gonna be a network. There's no networking unless they can communicate, and they communicate with CB1 and CB2 receptors.